Hold on to your butts, everybody. Jurassic Park is 30 years old. It's 30 years old. 30-year anniversary of Jurassic Park, and what better way to celebrate it than to own it? Own it. Own the whole entire franchise, and you can do it through the Universal Digital Store. Now, Universal's digital movie store, it's only available to users in the United States. However, you can access your content anywhere through Movies Anywhere or your connected digital retail accounts, whether it's Apple TV, Amazon, Vudu. You know the deal. What's so great about it is what you can do with this store is you can give gifts if somebody's birthday. Hey, I know you, Perry Nemiroff. I know that you love Jurassic Park and you love the whole thing. Well, I'm going to get you the whole series, and here's a gift. There's a bundle. You can get the bundles of any franchise, whether, again, it's Jurassic Park, it's Fast and Furious, any of the Universal titles. And they don't disappear off of the site the way that, say, Netflix does, right? You own them. They're yours, and there are a lot of benefits to having them on digital. You can get some of the extra footage that they have and the bonus content. You can check out the upgraded format of the movie. There's so many different things that you can do when you own the movie digitally. There's collection building. Basically, the way you used to collect DVDs and Blu-rays, you can build your own movie library digitally. Click my Creator Cart link in the video description below to get 30% off, plus have a chance to win some epic Jurassic World swag. Man, Jurassic Park, 30 years old. I can hear the John Williams theme in my head. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Thursday. And yeah, man, look, we talked about it in depth on yesterday's show about the strikes, and it's still continuing. And there's other news stories and things that are kind of trickling above. And I'll probably get into the rumor about Keanu Reeves potentially being in Star Wars. That's something people wanted to get into. But as you saw on the thumbnail, and as I told you guys we were going to do this week, those UAP hearings, man, they happened. There was a lot of detail in it today, or yesterday rather. But myself and Roxy Stryer both watched it. We're going to talk about that in depth. Speaking of Roxy, on Thursdays, it was for a long time the amazing dating stories. They were so good, but she's been replaced by her neighbor, and the stories that she's telling about her neighbor are fantastic. And there's another weird entry this week, so we'll get into that for sure. And you know, I'll talk some box office too. I'm going to definitely talk about the fact that Barbie's numbers are astronomical. Regardless, doesn't matter. I've seen silly reports out there. People going, "Oh, it's going to drop off in week 2." It's like it sure isn't. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Oppenheimer, and we'll talk about whether or not we think there's going to be any. Oh, I will. If there's any contenders to it at all. So we're going to get into it right now, everybody. It's the big thing. If you haven't been here before and you're brand new to the channel, hit that button, will you? Try to get to 100,000. Help us out. Do it. And let the English see you do it. Braveheart, 1995. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's get into it. It's the big thing. Roxy and me. Cool. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Ralph Biscuits, Roxanne Stryer, us. Brett is in Nebraska, moving around stuff. I don't know if that's true, but he's definitely in Nebraska.
You know what UAP is great for? Yup. Yep.
I think it kind of ruins it a little bit.
No, it makes it better.
I don't think so.
You know it does. You want to talk today about yep?
No.
Oh.
Not if you're gonna do it. You're gonna taint it. We're just starting to get people back, not thinking it's as taboo. But if you start screaming "yowp,"
yeah,
it would be "yowp" more than anything else.
Why are you adding an L in there?
Yowp. Listen.
Why is it Arnie?
Yowp. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Did you watch the hearings today? Come on. I was there with Whiskey and Lulu, and Whiskey, I know for a fact Whiskey was in the field, and she was frolicking about and looking back at Lulu, who was sleeping, took a nice meal, laid down, and the zoom flying in the air. I was like this, and she said to me, "Dada, look." I can speak to them. I know through the carrots and everything else. And the look, and it's spinning around, and I said, "No, you are drunk. It's just a disc because I am strong," and I was moving it around and spinning.
A frisbee.
Mm.
Was it the Tic Tac? Because what is that?
What is all of it?
What is all of it?
What is all of it? We'll get into that. And
Welcome to the club.
Well,
To
I've been
every
part of the
person.
club.
No, everybody wrote on my thing. Kristian got you into this. I wanted to punch them all in the face. I was born in the
Born into
darkness, raised by it. That's my bane.
Well, your quote on Collider Live was aliens and shit.
Aliens and shit, man. They are here. They are here.
If people didn't watch this hearing and still feel like what's going on, we'll get into all of it. What I will say is this: I did mention that Riley and I were probably going to be doing this at least bi-weekly to do full episodes on it. This is going to be today's episode is kind of a mixture of both. It's some news stories, Roxy stories, the stuff that we
Because it's
had
going to
with
go
the
on for
hearings.
months.
It's going to go on for a long time.
Yeah.
But with those specific episodes, because what I did see is, look, there were a lot of people that came in to watch those episodes. The ones that I did with Mark and the one I did with Riley, they did really well. People are really interested in it.
Ellis?
Yeah, Ellis came in, Riley came in, and we talked for a bit and they both did really well. And we brought in, and there's a bunch of brand new people who found the show and started talking about it and giving me great suggestions of other things to watch. But there were a few people who were like, "Is this what the channel is from now on?" It's like, it's not. But I think what I'm gonna maybe do when I do like an episode like this where we cover everything, it's just part of it. But like if there's the full episodes where I cover everything, I'm probably just gonna maybe add an episode and put it in on Tuesday or something.
The thing that I don't understand about that comment, though, is like, I get that people want their entertainment news and whatnot, but there might be aliens on the planet. Like, but is that what we're talking about? Damn fucking right, that's what we're talking about. There's aliens on the planet. Like, I feel like people are still so not grasping that this is maybe the biggest hearings that we've ever had.
But you know why that is? One of the main reasons it is, and they said it in the hearings today.
Stigma.
Well, definitely. But the freaking news outlets are barely covering it.
I know.
Like you had to find it. I was online. It was on YouTube. You had to watch it on YouTube. It should have been on every one of the major networks.
About 500,000 views in an hour.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Because
you knew it was going to do well on the internet. There's no doubt. But I'm just saying that it gets more legitimacy when the major networks are covering it, and what they've made it very clear. Because Raskin was there, Matt Gaetz was there. It's about as bipartisan of a thing as you're going to get. You've never seen these people on the same page.
No.
And they're on the same page. And what's crazy about it is that there is way more coverage because there were definitely way more Republicans on the thing pushing. There were definitely a fair share of Democrats that were going through it, but there was a Republican push for a lot of this. And because of that, and I think this is their whole Red Sox versus Yankees thing that drives me nuts, is that Fox News has been covering it. MSNBC, CNN, nowhere to be found, maybe like that much of it.
There was a lot of times in the hearing where they were like, and now there's no clarity under the Biden administration. And I was thinking to myself, like, not to get political, but Biden's not my favorite. But it's like, this has nothing to do with it. There's been no transparency under any administration, your favorite or your least favorite.
Carter and Ford both saw.
Yeah, that was crazy. They cited that in this.
They cited that in this thing, but I'd seen that in the reports through that thing that I told you about, the 5-parter. It's called UFOs Exploring the Unknown. People keep asking me about it. It's a 5-part series that you can find on National Geographic or through Disney Plus. I don't think it's available on Disney Plus in like Europe and stuff, so you got to find it.
The one you had me watch
was very different.
Was on Tubi though and free.
Yes. So Tubi and free, you can find both Moment of Contact and you can find both by James Fox, The Phenomenon.
When you had initially said to me, I thought you had said it was Rick Fox, and I was so confused. And then I turned it on, and it was not Rick Fox.
No, it was James Fox.
I was like, I didn't know Rick Fox was really in it.
No, James Fox is very much intertwined in all this stuff. But but there needs to be more coverage in it, especially because I did see a lot of people. And again, telling people my story on how I've always been interested, and even when you and I did the Collider Live back in 2018 or whatever it was. And we talked about when that New York Times article came out, and I was like, it's just crazy that people aren't covering this and this thing. And I was talking about it. I remember I just watched someone send me the clip recently, and then I always said, okay, well, there's clear-cut footage of it now, and and now they're admitting that it's actually out there, and it just kind of drifted off, and I'm like, maybe one day we'll hear about it again. And what happened, and as I mentioned on yesterday's show, I was watching a show that you had recommended to me to watch, which was hilarious, Jury Duty. And I was watching that show. I took a break, and then I don't know how Disney Plus pops up. This thing comes on. I'm like, and I'm legit like, I'll watch one of these things like Ancient Aliens. This will be fun to watch right now, whatever. And it was the farthest thing from that. It was just about, it's these facts and these things that are put out there in the different cases. And it's very, in that movie, The Phenomenon by James Fox, they cover a lot of the same stuff, but with some more, another one that happened in like South Africa or something that is just nuts.
Because like you said, this is not a United States thing.
No. Someone
Isn't
said that.
yeah.
Yeah, somebody said that the other day.
Brazil does seem to be like the hot spot, though. I do feel like there's a lot of
there were
Brazil.
lots of, they found like materials from Brazil in like the 50s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things, but these hearings today, regardless of what you think, because I think that there are a lot of people, like we were talking about with Dan Merle on yesterday's show, and Dan he said it very clearly. He goes, I think that there's something out there. I think that these are something. There's definitely things in the sky. I don't necessarily know about other creatures.
He doesn't know what we know.
He doesn't. A lot of these people, again, didn't. When you watch all these different facts and different, I think Moment of Contact is a tougher, and even James Fox says as much. It's a tougher sell in general. I mean,
it's definitely a tougher entry point.
Yeah, it's a definitely. I just sent that to you because I knew you're already like locked into this. But like, no, the ones that you should watch is that 5-parter and then the Phenomenon. Those are the two that basically breaks down these facts and the things that all three of these witnesses talked about today. And how crazy was it? What do you think? You listened to the whole thing?
All 2.5 hours.
What do you think the craziest part that you took out of the hearing was?
Well, this is stuff that I was already aware of because especially the News Nations, but the people that are hurt.
Yes.
Is that what you were going to say? I mean, there are people, it seems to me, my interpretation is that people have been injured and lost their lives due to these yups.
Dude straight out asked if people were murdered.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't
disclose that. And it's like, why would
but it was pretty much hinted like,
if it's no, you would just say, I don't think so. Not to the best of my knowledge.
Right. He did say that for something else. He's like, someone asked him a question. He's like, I never saw that. That was, and one of the pilots said the same thing. I never saw that.
Right.
But
he said, one of the three of them said, I've actually never had a encounter.
That was Grush.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Grush never had the encounter. The two pilots did.
And they came to him afterwards. And
Grush basically said that he was, so for people who didn't know, David Grush was an intelligence officer who was asked to be part of this UAP program. And then when he was told by high-ranking officials that they had found both craft and bodies, that he wanted more access to it.
It did seem like he confirmed that he has seen where they're holding
he knows
crafts,
where it is. He said that.
But not seen any species, right? That's what it seemed like he was saying.
He said that he has seen pictures and other things too, and they asked specific stuff. And the amount of times that he said, I can't answer that here.
Right.
But I can, to the right.
So what's up with that?
He said it at the end.
I mean, what's up with that? Like, what happens then? So who gets in the room?
He said that at the end too. He said basically he was with the right. He's like, I am all for.
He said high clearance, the right clearance people. But I'm asking you,
who the clearance is.
Who is that?
I mean,
like, we're getting questions from all of the people at all different levels.
Yeah.
Are all of them like AOC's entire line of questioning? Right? Was I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Did she go today?
I think that I was listening in my car. It sounded like her voice. She said,
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that wasn't AOC. That was.
Oh my God, she's dead ringer from her voice.
That was the Republican from Florida. I forget her name.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure.
So the one who asked, where would I start to look?
I think so.
Oh,
I think so. Maybe you're right. You might be right.
I was watching because I was filming this morning a SAG-approved contract.
Yeah.
So I was listening to it all. So that's why I also didn't know who was talking when you said that. Although the three guys at least have very different voices.
Right.
But I might be wrong about some of the.
I miss Luna.
The people who spoke.
Luna was.
No, Luna did a good job too. Yeah. That was the girl. She had a different voice. Let me look.
But I don't know. I don't think. Maybe you could absolutely be right. I mean, I might have just missed it, but I didn't think that she asked.
Let's see. I'll look.
Let me see.
AOC. Yeah.
She did?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I don't think she did. I think that was Luna. But either way, it doesn't matter.
It sounded so much like her.
It doesn't matter. The point is that there was a, and I give respect to all, like as you mentioned before, it's not about the politics of it all, because this, to me, it just shoots past all of the trivial differences. I mean, other people, do you think there's trivial differences compared to what this is and could be? Yeah, it is. And the fact that everybody was kind of on the same page, it didn't seem like they were attacking these witnesses at all. They did, and they had that one guy who was a skeptic. Did you see that one guy who was asking me? He's just like, look, I don't know how this. I'm going to ask the questions because it's hard for me to believe and see this.
Well, he does. The reason, and I like that he said this, was if they could get here, how could, you're talking about this guy, right?
Yes.
If they could get there, then they're going to crash? Like, you're telling me they have all this technology to get here, but then they can't land the plane? And it's like, I get where he's coming from, and I love skeptics.
Yeah, but weather.
Well, but a million things, right? Like, we've perfected the car, but
You can still crash it.
people have accidents every day. Obviously not perfected. I mean, we have a bajillion cars.
Of course. But like that question to me didn't make me go, But it also goes back to what Grush was saying though too, and he's skating around this because he said it's just, and he said it in the hearing too. It's just the theory from people who are way smarter than me, is what he was saying, of interdimensional travel more so than anything
With
else.
the shadows, I was interested and confused by that.
Yeah, it's basically
that's your jam.
Very much so, because the physics of it all, it makes sense, the physics of it all, but there's no technology, and it would take us an insane amount of years to even try to figure out how to do that. Like they've been talking about like trying to recreate black holes and all this stuff here, and it's like there's no. But the fact, and there's all these other questions. The eeriest thing, one of the eeriest things that they were asking was the one guy at the end, and he's going, "Do you think that it's possible that they are here from the stuff and the data that you've seen that they are doing, that these things are doing reconnaissance?" And yes, possible. That they are looking at nuclear capabilities. Yes. It's like,
because no shit. Of
Right.
course, that's what they're doing. Especially if there's think about all the sightings, right? Hundreds, thousands. I mean,
hundreds probably like within the last couple of
months, right? Like, so what else are they just here? Joyride? Like,
well, they asked that question. Another crazy stat: how many of these reports do you think are reported by the pilots that see them?
5%.
5% from the pilots that see them.
And then how many are looked into from that? So few as well.
It's nuts. And it's like, that's the thing, like how this, if I, and again, I say this with all respect to the victims that were lost in the Long Island serial killer thing. Like I say this in all respect, but if I turn on and they're giving that fucking beast any more screen time and not covering this, it's like again, whatever
I
you
get
can
what
do
you're
with
saying.
whatever
You're
you
not
can
talking
do
about
with
doing pieces on the
whatever
family.
you can do with the families, however you can support the families and all of that, you should. But that fucking disgusting pig, if I have to see his face as the lead story and not this, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, even if you don't believe in it, even if you think, and I'm going to try to curb. I just heard myself cursing. I did get a bunch of people coming in here going, brand new to your channel, you cursing up a storm. It's the New Yorker, making me break.
But what's wrong with cursing?
If there's people, look, there's probably going to be people like a 12, 13-year-old kid that wants to hear about the hearings and other things too.
Okay, but if there's anything in the world that you can curse about, it's there are
effing
aliens among us.
But I'm just saying though, even if you don't believe in any of this stuff, like even if you're like, I'm such a skeptic, if you have these two decorated pilots and an intelligence officer, and all of these different, I mean, like, you think that Jamie Raskin and all these people are going to go, yeah, I'm going to take some time out of my day for nonsense. And it's like, there's something going on. Don't you want to know what it is? Even if it's not, even if they even said it, we're not going to tell you there's little green men running around. We're not going to say that's not what you're here for. Don't you want to know what it is?
I like that they said, I've never seen it before. I've never seen it since. But it's the most credible sighting there's
That was
ever.
the one pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one pilot. Because I think Graves only saw it that one time, but I want to sit in a room with Grush. I want to know what that guy has seen and heard stuff, and like the fact that he has been physically threatened. He's been like, he made that clear.
And his job. I mean, everything's on the line.
Everything's on the line.
I just don't understand unless it's I think there's 0% chance that everybody's lying. Zero. That everyone is lying.
Right.
Now,
over the course of 75, 80 years.
You could say that what's it called, the Mandela effect or whatever. Like everybody's kind of hyped each other up on it. Different
telling, and you believe it. You say it enough, you believe it, right?
I guess you could to some extent, but not to this extent. It's like because it's not one event that everybody saw and is like, is that how you remember it? It's thousands of things that have taken place in all different countries, in all different cities, with all different types of people, with people that you like.
And groups, not, and that's what I keep saying, not two drunk people on moonshine in the back of a farm somewhere going, oh, I think I saw something in the sky. These like villages.
Pilots, military officers.
The Hudson, New York case, the Houston, the Texas case, the South African case.
Brazil.
There's so many cases of various people. And
San Diego, the one they're talking about in this.
Right. There's tons of people that are continuously, again, not saying anything except, what is it? Because it clearly
because
is
we're
something.
in trouble. We don't know what it is.
We could be in trouble.
Right. What we're in trouble with is that we don't know what it is, and if anybody decided to do anything, we have zero defense against it.
And the other side of it is and they mentioned this again in the hearing, was the reverse engineering side of it.
Right.
Because that to me is what I feel out of everything. Yes, if there are extraterrestrial beings and thinking that people are going to freak out about it, it's probably a major issue that they're worried about the fact that they've been keeping it that long. That's a definite. I have absolutely, I believe 100% that if they found this thing in Roswell, found anything in Brazil, found anything where they
covered
said,
up,
as Grush says, they have many craft. If they did that, there is no world where they just went, all right, throw it out. They've been trying to reverse engineer it.
Yeah, of course.
The reverse
but not just
engineering
us, the Chinese government and the Russian government, who apparently have crafts as well.
And so if they've been trying to reverse engineer this thing and have been keeping it quiet, the public blowback would be tremendous.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they've been all these different things. And who the hell knows?
Because they do say, they're like, you know, you can't have people trust their government when the government clearly doesn't trust their people.
Right.
And I agree with that. And, you know, I know this nation is, it's effed up for a million reasons. And even though, don't even get me started on separation of church and state, but what we claim is one nation under God. All right, whatever the God part is, but one nation. This isn't about one nation.
Right.
This is about all nations. This is about our entire planet, and we don't know how to navigate that as a planet. We have a hard enough time with the UN and the members that are in the UN. If there are aliens amongst us and they have been they've been surveilling us for years, and even maybe it's multiple different groups from all different light years away, and even one of them has ill intention. As a planet,
what are you going to be able to do? You're not going to be able to do anything. And like the craziest one to me that I hope that they in the next couple of hearings that they have is they really dive deep, or they get somebody to talk about the nuclear facilities that various reports, and I can't remember where it was exactly, but you can find it in both Phenomenon and I think in that 5-part series also. But there was something that hovered above one of the biggest nuclear facilities that we
red
have.
Thing, right?
But it was like a disc. And it was, and the red light
and then
shot
everything
down, and they said that all they were doing, it was clear that it was a scan, and they scanned through, and then it did what so many of these reports say it did, zipped up in the sky at lightning fast speed. But James Fox, the director of both the Phenomenon and Moment of Contact, said this, which I couldn't agree with more. All right, let's say that they have on camera a few of these people who are working in one of the high level nuclear programs with all these missiles. Let's say that these people were lying. Who cast them to be there in the first place then? That they were making this up.
Yeah.
If these people were making this stuff up, or they were that crazy that they were coming up with this crazy stuff, like, oh, who hired them?
Right.
You're hiring the craziest people, a few of them. You're hiring the craziest people to put them in charge of nukes?
Yeah.
Then that person should be investigated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because
Totally. Where are you finding these people?
It's nuts. Like the amount of people, and every person I've talked to about this, outside of like, you know, yourself or people who, like a Dan Merle or DJ Woolridge, any of these things that I say, even Kate Mulligan, who believes, I said, what do you think about that O'Hare incident? What's that?
Yeah.
How does not everyone know about that? I didn't know about it until I saw the 5-part series. That should have been a national news story.
Yeah. It's not until 2017 that I feel like any of
New
the
York
general
Times.
public started to wake up to this,
Yeah.
and we spoke about it. But I mean, obviously, there's been famous ones in the past, but I think people more think of them as a joke.
Of course they do. Well, because it's always unless you if you don't do this, and this is what I'm saying from what I've found from all these different people that I've talked to about it. They give you that kind of UFO thing. I'm like, no, there's hearings, and like, oh, okay. And then like what? And even Dan last night, where can I watch this? And he's like, making kind of funny jokes. Where watch them on JoJo.com or whatever. And they take it like it's like not really that serious, but it's like because whether it's PLD, whoever, I tell people, I go, just watch the 5-part series and get the information, see what you think at the end.
What do you think the aliens think if they're here about us doing this hearing?
I wouldn't be surprised. They're like, you should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, they're like, you idiots. What? You've been seeing us forever.
The South African case is the craziest one. Do you remember this one?
Maybe.
And again, I keep saying South Africa, and I might be wrong. Because
is it the 60s or something?
No, that's Australia. That's the one you're thinking of. The South African one was 1994, I think. And they actually have, in the Phenomenon film, they have this. And so what happened was it was like the middle of the day. I think that the kids were, whether they're at lunch or whatever they were, recess, whatever. This thing lands outside, and this is a group of kids, not one or two, it's a group of them, and different ages. They said that this thing, again, believe what you want to believe. Just look at the footage of the kids themselves and hear the interviews. The thing landed, something got out, some type of creature, and they locked. These are like, I don't know, 8 to like 12-year-old kids who all had the same story, all described it the same way, all said that within the same type of message that the thing said was like, don't rely on technology enough, this type of thing that was communicating with them. 25, 30 years later, interviewed them. They stick to their story. They say the same thing. These are stable people. They're not out of their minds. They have regular jobs. They have, they have families and all this stuff too. It's, again, believe what you want to believe about that.
Did they describe what it looked like?
Yeah, this one there was the one from Moment of Contact is the
I mean, it looks like a classic alien.
Craziest one, but this one is again to just more like wearing. I think this one was like wearing all black or whatever what it was, and the skin itself was just kind of similar, just kind of hairless and big eyes. And again, when it comes to that,
yeah, that I don't know.
It's a harder thing for people to interpret. This really not what these hearings are about. And I mean, you can believe whatever you want to believe when it comes to that part of it. And if you want to be a skeptic about it, you have every right to be. But there is no argument anymore. I mean, there are some people still who are writing going, those things aren't real. If I get one, like I said this on my other thing, I love the Corridor Crew. I think they're amazing. They're one of my favorite. I don't know if you've seen them. Their channel.
I don't even know what you just said.
The Corridor Crew. They're like a special effects YouTube channel, and they're really fun. They seem like great guys, fun guys. I love I've watched so many of their videos. From what I've heard, and I haven't seen this, people comments have said this. Maybe not necessarily them. The Corridor Crew debunked that any of that stuff is real. It's like they're special effects people. They don't have radars on their things. They don't have these things. They don't have actual footage that was also, approved and said this is legitimate by the frickin' government and why it's been trying to be shut down. So I don't take any merit in that. I'm not telling you they're not very talented guys, and I don't even necessarily know if they said that, but I'm just saying, referencing a special effects crew who says it isn't real. Same guy I saw the other day, a guy who reads body language, doing a video on Grush, going, oh, well, look at the way he moves his head right here. That could mean that he's scared to tell the truth at this particular moment, and that's not factual. It's like, come on, guy. I get it. I understand that what you're trying to do here, but like, this is a different circumstance.
Do you think that they should release all the classified information?
All of it? I mean, for selfish reasons, yes. For
at least, was it Grush who said this? I couldn't tell because, again, I was driving. After several years, we should at least see the photos.
Yeah.
And the video and black out the private information or whatever.
I just think that it's an arrogance thing in general, where whether they think that the American public can hold it. I mean, they even said it, that they're holding it from senators, and they held it from presidents, right? Because there's this sect of the government that is just like, no, this is how it's always been done. This is our private thing. And that the arrogance of the fact that they get to keep the information for themselves over the rest of, and it's not a United States thing; it's a world thing.
Yeah,
and that's
who's at this thing? Is it just Congress people? Is it senators? Is the president able to get like what? Who?
For this one, this is just a congressional. I think. Well, this one was.
It's a
The
congressional
subcommittee.
hearing.
It's subcommittee on the national security. What it's called, the subcommittee on national security, the border, and foreign affairs hearing. I love that.
How many people are on the
They
subcommittee?
they turn the comments off. Of
Yeah,
the
I
video,
know.
by
But
the way.
during the video, you couldn't even.
which was very, very smart, very, very smart. And they should and you should. It's not the point of it. It's not the point of it. It's I think it was a very smart idea. They're not trying to make viral videos. They're trying to get the word out. In general, with right now it's at 645K.
No,
So-
it was AOC today.
It was?
Yeah.
I didn't see her. I don't know. I didn't see her.
U.S. Representative AOC looks on during a House subcommittee on national security, the border, and foreign affairs. Yeah. It sounded just like her.
Let me tell you something. This guy here, I'm pulling up a picture of Mr. Moskowitz.
Go Jews.
If I was ever going to cast anybody as Mr. Moskowitz,
Yeah,
I would cast him as
Mr. Moskowitz looks like Mr. Moskowitz.
He looks
through
like a
and
Mr.
through.
Moskowitz.
I heard his name. I didn't see what he looked like.
That's about as Mr. Moskowitz as you get. Look at his hair. Great hair. Yeah.
AOC was the one, I'm pretty sure she asked, if you were me, go back. Did you just miss her?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
you didn't know.
No.
I think she said, if you were me, where would you start? And
Watch the 5-part series. That's what I would.
no, where would you look? I think she meant for the crafts or like for in general. I feel like it was. Oh, there she is.
She is. Yeah, there. Okay. So yeah, next to Mr. Frost. Yeah, I missed a lot of. I guess I missed this portion of it here.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess I missed that portion of it.
Wow.
I know. I have to go back. Oh yeah, there you go. You were right. Let's see what the line is.
Record.
Which
What have you stated publicly in your interviews for the congressional record?
if you reference my News Nation
This is
interview
Grush.
and I talk about a multi-decade, campaign to disenfranchise public interest,
Sorry, Mr.
basically.
Chairman, I've gone.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
apologize, Mr. Chairman. I yield back negative 21 seconds.
Thank you. Ms. Ocasio-Cortez?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for coming here today. I do concur with the ranking member as well as several other members here on this committee that this is a committee for whistleblowers and for the protection of whistleblowers as well. So we understand what you're putting on the table here and what you're putting on the line here, and we thank you for that.
So, the idea. This again. In what world did I tell you that you were going to see Matt Gaetz
And AOC, I know.
like both on the same page trying to find answers for the same thing?
Yeah.
This is what the world should be doing.
But that's why, like, if I'm not sure what China or Russia knows, and obviously other governments too, but those are the ones that Grush has specifically named have also these what's it
Right.
called search and seizure program or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, you heard what Gates said though.
What did he say?
Gates was like that. You went to a program and he saw stuff that he just could not explain.
Right.
Like the stuff that they showed him, he's like, I don't know what that is.
And everybody in the world, what's the quote? Like everything looks like magic until you know it's science.
Right.
Like that's what this is.
Yeah.
It looks like magic to us, but there's science behind it. It's not science that we have.
Right.
We need to
them,
join.
it's like a card.
Right.
Right.
We need to join forces with other governments
Yep.
to figure this out. This
Right.
isn't about which of us can figure this out first.
Well, that's what it's been. It's been because of the space, because of the
Space
space
race,
race,
yeah,
because
I
of
know,
all that
but it's
stuff.
like our
it,
planet. It's a whole
that's-
planet.
That's what. How great, by the way. Again, not diving into politics of people too, but the dude. Who's the guy running the whole shop? The guy from Tennessee. The
Oh
main-
yeah.
Burchett.
He
Burchett.
keeps.
Doug Nabbit.
Yeah, and he said,
Bur-
"By God damn, we're gonna get down to the bottom."
He is intense in the best way.
They're all
possible.
intense.
Yeah, but Burchett is really running the show here, and he's really like. I don't know. Like I said, I've seen him. He's out there talking about this, and he's really fighting for the witnesses, and he's fighting for everybody. And it is good to see like like these cast of characters that you see fighting with each other all the time.
Yeah, and he's like, "My buddy across the aisle."
It's nuts. Like they're all on the same page in this, and it's like if they actually like the amount of stuff that did come out today, and the
Yeah.
amount of stuff that if they actually paid attention to these hearings, and I'm gonna put a link to the hearings in the description of the video.
You can skip the first 40 minutes. It's just them thanking each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's also like, I mean, I think once you start getting to the witnesses,
That's when it's.
Yeah.
But because it took a while to start, and whatever, I think it's legitimately like 38 minutes till we get to the witnesses.
the only reason though that I would also suggest not doing that if you're a skeptic,
Yeah.
because like you and I, we're on board.
Yeah.
Get us to the witnesses. Let's hear what they got to say. If you're a skeptic and you want to hear,
It is wild to see both sides. Yeah.
you want to
I
see
agree.
both sides talking about getting to the bottom of it, because they're all saying the same thing. They're all saying, we're not telling you that we're trying to find aliens. We'll ask a couple questions about it and everything, but that's not why we're here. We're trying to find out what the hell is flying around in the sky.
Okay, but
that
Kristian,
we
if
don't
it's-
know what it is.
They do all keep saying that, but if it's not aliens, what are the other options?
I mean, to me, the only other option that it could be, if there are no other, if there are no,
Is it another government?
is no. I don't think that from the way these things move, they would, if Russia or China had the capacity to do this, why isn't Russia using this in Ukraine?
Right.
So no, I don't. I think that what I do believe, that's whether it was Roswell or whatever it might be, something otherworldly crashed. I do, and I think that if it isn't still these things flying around the place, then someone has able to reverse engineered it. Now, whether that is
Someone as in the government, or you mean it could be an individual?
no, it would have to be the government. It would have to
Okay.
be, and it would have to be most likely. I don't know, man.
But then why would these hearings be able to be held
if you're asking me?
Yeah, it's
What
alien.
my thought is, I don't, again, as Grush says, he's not saying it's aliens. He's saying it could be interdimensional. Maybe that's the case too.
Isn't interdimensional aliens though?
I mean, not from outer space. Not from outer space. That's what interdimensional. It's a whole different science. This is where you could probably lose people. But like interdimensional is just in the way that it's just a. It's
But
a
wouldn't that
different-
still be alien to us?
Sure, but it's just from
Not from here.
Other right, and that's what Grush was saying. Grush was like, you got to be careful in what you're saying, because there's
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I go back to the idea of it, because when you go into this portion of it, that's when you do lose people who are skeptics right away, because they can't fathom it.
Yeah, but they couldn't. 1,000 years ago, if you had shown them an iPhone,
Of course, but
you can't fathom it. What the fuck is this?
Only thing that I say to people is this, and it's just watch that 5-part series, watch the hearings.
What's it called again?
It's called UFOs Investigating the Unknown. Watch the series, watch the hearings, and if you leave it going, I feel exactly the same, then more power to you.
But
like,
how? How could you?
it doesn't matter. If you do feel that way, then that's it. But what I won't do is, when I saw some people, like there was people tweeting and going like, oh, they're just trying, which is so silly. This guy goes, the only reason they're doing this is to cover up the fact that Hunter Biden's is on trial. I'm like, first of all, the majority of it is run by Republicans. That's part one. Part two, if you go to every major news site, that's the front page story, not this.
Yeah.
So nice
that
try.
and the Biden.
Yeah,
can't-
but it
the
doesn't matter. Even
cancer
those
thing.
those are being covered, and
Yeah.
they're in the forefront of it. Like, oh, they're just trying to take away, because this guy's like, and it's working on you. It's like, it's not. I'm very aware of those stories. Those stories, to me, if this story is insignificant in the
Everything's
stories.
insignificant.
Yes.
I mean,
everything. I think that's
truthfully,
what they're scared of. Ross.
everything.
But that's what they're scared of. That is what they're scared of. Because
Including you. You're insignificant. I'm
I know.
insignificant.
The world
You're
changes.
insignificant.
people's beliefs and idea of what the world is and in general changes dramatically if any of this is proven factual, and that is also what they're scared
You
of.
know something I'm really scared of?
What?
Dying the day before we find out for
Right,
sure
right,
about something like
right,
this.
of course.
Like, imagine, or like, I don't believe it. I'm not religious, but like, if Jesus came back and floated through the clouds or whatever, and you
Right.
die the day before that, fuck me.
I know. It's like,
Sorry, you told me not to swear.
it's okay.
Did it anyway.
It's all right. But yeah, that's the it's I know I said we're gonna cover this for a little bit today, but it's just too much.
Want to talk about my neighbor
I do, but I also want to tell people
who might be an alien, if there are aliens amongst us.
there's some crazy stories going on with your neighbor. We'll talk about it in a second. I got really good news for you. First of all,
Okay.
did you try Rocket Money yet. Like
No, I have to try it. I have to try
You have to try Rocket Money, and I'm telling you,
Yeah, I gotta save that money.
I'm going to text you today and make again. It's rocketmoney.com/thing, and so Rocket Money is one of those things for people who don't know. So it basically, when you sign up to you're going through your apps and you go, oh, that sounds fun. They're like, oh, it's free for the first month, and then it costs you an arm and a leg every other month, and you forget you have it. This basically shows you all of the subscriptions that you have, whether it's a bunch of streaming services that you don't use anymore, these things, and you can click of the button. They can cancel stuff for you. They can organize your finances for you. They give you updates. They tell you what's going on in your finances, and it's been a major help to me. It helps me all the time. They send updates. It's been fantastic. Credit scores, all that stuff. And it's rocketmoney.com/thing. I highly recommend it. That's part one. Part two, where you're going to be really happy?
What?
Green Chef is back.
Oh, I love them.
You love Green Chef. And let me tell you a little bit more about Green Chef right now. Oh, yeah. I'm excited. Green Chef is back. You guys know I've been talking about Green Chef. Green Chef saved me when my family went out of town, and I had a box from Green Chef, and I made everything. I made stuff. I made shrimp dishes. I made chicken dishes. I made all these stuff, and it's really, really just amazing, amazing dishes that Green Chef can send you through the ingredients. It is the #1 meal kit for eating clean with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. You eat clean, easy way with recipes that help manage your weight and support your wellness goals without skimping on flavor. That is a fact. I went nuts. It doesn't take very long, by the way, to make these meals. You follow the instructions. You don't have to. You can make your own things. You can make your own little. I made a few rice bowls and other things that I've done on my own, but I followed the instructions that they sent, the recipes recently, and it was so good. You feel your best this summer with seasonal recipes featuring certified organic fruits, vegetables, organic cage-free eggs, and sustainably sourced seafood. Again, I made myself a few shrimp dishes. I'm a seafood nut. They deliver everything you need to eat clean the easy way. Feel your best with nutritionist-approved recipes packed with clean ingredients that support your healthy lifestyle, and it tastes great too. I'm telling you, I went nuts. I was so excited. I'm loving Green Chef. And a lot of you guys have listened to me and got Green Chef, and you haven't regretted it. Make more time for your summer goals with their convenient step-by-step recipes with options ready in less than 30 minutes. If a dope like me can do it, you can do it too. I think I'm a pretty good cook, actually, and this really been helping me do some more stuff. Anyway, for me, I anything seafood, or I actually made a few burgers and stuff that they sent too. The meat was really delicious. So they have a lot of different options. Go to greenchef.com/thing50 and use that code thing50 for what? 50% off plus free shipping. That's the deal right there. greenchef.com/thing50. Use that code thing50 and get 50% off plus free shipping. I'm telling you, man, they're the best. They're the #1 meal kit for eating well. All right, thank you again to our sponsors, both Rocket Money and Green Chef. I was so excited. I actually
Are you making tacos, or what's your deal this week?
Yeah, well, I've turned certain things into rice bowls.
Oh,
burgers. Certain. I made like some enchiladas.
you got some good summertime stuff.
Some good stuff, and their stuff is just so good. But I actually saw somebody on yesterday's show say, because the Green Chef ad just kind of popped in there, because the show last night was supposed to be a website exclusive, but the conversation was just so good with the four of us. I was like, I really want, like, I got the audience who got a chance, who are subscribed, they got a chance to watch it live and ask questions. But I was like, I need this conversation needs to be seen.
They had good questions.
Yeah, so I showed it, and I made it as a Big Thing episode, but I put the Green Chef ad in the middle of it, and somebody's like, it popped up out of nowhere. I'm all here for it, and I just got it. And I was like, let me know what you think. Because
it's so good.
I've had other subscriptions before and everything too, and they've been fine. But like, Green Chef legit has like the best food I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't know really anybody who doesn't love it.
It's so good.
Yeah, really good.
All right, let's move on. And don't worry, for people who are wondering, that's all you're covering today on the hearings. Riley and I are going to be going really into depth on it. Now, whether or not it's going to be Monday episode or Tuesday episode, I don't know yet. But don't worry, I will be covering it. The other thing before we get into Roxy's stories that I do want to talk to you guys about, that I'll probably kind of do on my own here, is Keanu Reeves. Who doesn't love Keanu Reeves? Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. There's a long time there's a push for Keanu Reeves to be in Star Wars, and people were like, talking about whether or not he was going to be like people wanted him to be Darth Revan and all this stuff, but there was like a big boost in the Acolyte, the budget. They said that it's an insane amount, like over $50 million invested, and one of the main reasons people think that they put so much money into it is because Keanu Reeves is going to pop up in it. Now the question is, who's he going to play? People are still saying Darth Revan, potentially, if he's going to be, hologram, whatever it might be. But I don't know. I'd love to see him in it. It'd also be great. The only reason I really actually do put some stock into this rumor is because I can see them going, because you remember Carrie-Anne Moss is also in this show, and to reunite Trinity and Neo in Star Wars would be a conversation starter for sure. But overall, it would be good. The only thing is, it does add to that. It's a lot of money for a TV show, man.
Do you think
a lot of money?
What do you think Keanu Reeves wants to do with his career?
Whatever he wants to.
Just anything
Whatever
at
he
this
wants
point.
to.
Yeah.
Well, he can do whatever he wants to, and
Yeah.
it's like, because he's in a very different position than a lot of other celebrities because he is just so beloved.
Yes.
I mean, he's just so beloved. He's like he's similar to Tom Cruise in the fact that he puts his body on the line for the entertainment of the fans, and and he's also a thrill seeker in the same way, but he wants to really do it right, and you see that with John Wick, and and then you look at what he's done with Berserker and the comic and the stuff. He puts his passion into everything that he does, and I think that it really travels over. And the stories about him in general, about what a good guy he is, the fact that he just carries himself as like the everyman, the tragedies that he's been through, like all these different things that he's gone through. I think people, he just can do no wrong. I don't think even if he went bankrupt, which he won't, but even if he did, I don't think anybody would let him. You know what I mean?
This is weird Sophie's choice, but Keanu Reeves or Nicolas Cage?
Keanu Reeves.
Wow. That was really quick for you.
All day. And it's probably, and I like Nick Cage a lot, but I think, and it's probably biased too, because I actually got a chance to meet Keanu Reeves, and he's everything you kind of hope that he would be. And you're like, that's just a good dude. So I root for good people, It's
The way that I
and not to
always-
say Nicolas Cage is not a good person. I just don't know him.
The way I always compare Matt and Ben, I always compare Keanu and Nicolas Cage. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, they have
think of them the same.
they come from the same energy block. For
Totally.
sure. I see, for sure. And Nick Cage is another guy, very beloved for a different reason. Like, you love Nicolas Cage because he's so out there.
And also doing whatever he wants with his
Just whatever
career.
he wants.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants. So I've always just been more of a Keanu fan, like Nicolas Cage very much, but that's an easier one for me.
Sound off at home, Nick or Keanu?
I think a lot of people are going to take Keanu.
Really?
I did.
More than Nick?
Do you remember when Matthew Perry wrote that book? Like, was it a year ago, 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah. People were pissed, right?
In his book, I don't think he realized how much Keanu Reeves was loved. He took a shot at Keanu Reeves and says something about whatever it was, just like a really stupid comment where there was
I'm trying to find it.
when certain people die, why couldn't it have been Keanu Reeves or something along those lines? Or
Really?
bad actors.
Really?
I can't remember the quote. Don't quote me on it, but it's something you can find it. But it's something along those lines.
I remember what you're talking about.
Oh
now.
man, people turned on him quick. They're like, first of all, it ain't 1995 anymore, bud, or whatever the hell when Friends was hot. You don't have that kind of clout to be going after John Wick. You just don't have that clout. And
What I'm seeing
And then he
everywhere is the apology.
then he apologized.
Yeah.
And then he apologized because people just went after him, rightfully so. You don't go after Keanu Reeves, and and this is again a testament to Keanu Reeves. Do you know what Keanu Reeves has said about that whole thing?
No.
Nothing. Not a word. Not that I know of. Not that I've heard of. Wasn't public.
I can't
Not
find
a
the
word.
quote, but I do find Matthew Perry saying, if I run into the guy, I'll apologize. It was just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it's stupid because you didn't expect this tidal wave of people to call you out. Shut up, Chandler.
Oh, he said, why is it that the original thinkers like River Phoenix and Heath Ledger died, but Keanu Reeves still walks among us?
Right. Stupid. Stupid comment. Stupid comment. And
It is
it's
so bizarre.
so stupid. And
It's
it's like
bizarre.
it's like you don't.
I
you don't
love Keanu.
Yeah.
I just also love Nick, and I don't know. I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Fair enough. I could be wrong, but Roxy asked the question.
Yeah.
Nick Cage or Keanu, who you choosing? All right, let's scoot on over here to this this next topic. Your neighbor, man. So
this is what happened.
Let me give a breakdown of people who are because we have a lot of new listeners now.
Welcome.
Yes.
To our second part of this alien conversation, my neighbor.
For real. You can actually watch the whole, well, not the whole saga, but at least 2 parts of the saga on the Big Thing Clips channel. I've taken both of the stories out. And Roxy lives in an apartment with very thin walls.
They're not that thin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thin enough.
Everybody else is talking about how crazy it is that I can hear her this way because.
Well, so Roxy will just be in her apartment having a glass of water, and then serious banging is happening. And when I'm saying banging, I mean sex.
Yeah.
And we don't
and
know
other stuff, but maybe.
We don't know what's going on. We've heard that again. Watch part 1 and part 2. We're
Dog
still trying to figure out.
noises.
We don't know what it is. We have no idea. There's a lot of. You see all the theories?
Yeah.
Lots of theories.
A lot of people think she's a cam
OnlyFans.
girl. Yeah.
OnlyFans, mistress.
Yeah.
Lots of different things going on that people think. So
Yeah, and
this
about
was-
the sounds, they were saying gag.
No one
versus,
knows.
Yeah.
No one knows what it was, but there's a lot of theories.
Yeah.
This one that you sent me, we don't have any audio this time around.
I'm going to describe it.
We have video, but we can't show it. We can't show video. They're like, wait, you have video in the apartment? No. Roxy's going to tell us exactly what she sent to Brett and myself.
So I am sitting at my place and I'm hearing bang, 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 bang.
Not sex.
No, knock, 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 knock. Wait a little bit, then bang, 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 bang. Again, a minute later, another minute goes by, bang, 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 bang. I'm starting to wonder, is that my door that
Right.
somebody's knocking on? Like, what is happening? So I go and I open my door, and sitting down on the ground outside of her door is this guy. I've never seen him before. Dressed kind of similar to all the rest. Very casual.
Big head, round, red eyes.
Yeah. Yes. Glowing too.
Was this a good-looking guy?
He was cute. He's
Okay.
cute. And he's sitting down and he seems distraught.
Describe distraught.
I opened the door and he said, "Ugh," like that. Distraught. "Ugh." And I said, "Are you okay?"
How old?
I have to say 23.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean,
young.
young.
Okay.
So that's another thing that I'm like, that doesn't feel like.
And she's in her 20s as well.
I think she's right around that age too.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe 24, 25.
All right.
Mid, early
So
to
he's
mid-20s.
frustrated.
Frustrated. So you okay? He said, "Ugh, she must have fallen asleep. She invited me over. She falls asleep. I don't know. I've been knocking at the door." I said, "I know. I heard." He said, "I don't know what to do." And I was like,
No apologies.
no. He seems frustrated and annoyed. So I'm like, well, best of luck. Close the door. Because
Amazing.
essentially stop knocking.
That was only a conversation that you had, except basically, hey, dum-dum, there's other people that live here. Stop slamming on the door.
Yeah. Then I leave. But out of curiosity, because we have the cameras, I was checking in
Okay.
periodically.
Give me a time period. So how long is he out there?
From the starting of the knocking
Yeah.
to her coming there, I'm going to say 40 minutes.
He's outside for 40 minutes before. Okay. So
And also, to get into my building, you need a key.
So she clearly let him in. Or,
So-
or he found a way to get
Or
it.
you can buzz in.
Okay.
So she must have buzzed him in or given him a key.
Well, but wouldn't he have a key then to the apartment itself?
Don't know.
Don't
I
know.
watched the footage to try to see, and I just see him
All right.
outside the door.
So
then inside.
he's sitting outside for a while. You leave.
But it's pretty difficult to get in.
But you're watching from
Yeah,
the
so
camera.
I watched the camera. Then finally, I see her open the door. Big T-shirt. She's got a big T-shirt. Very casual
Mm-hmm.
looking. Because I was like, oh, I don't know. I was expecting something like sexy kind of. She opens the door, big T-shirt. She looks at him and she bends down and gives him what I would describe as like a 30-second
Embrace.
embrace.
Yeah.
Holding him. I can't hear what's going on. She's holding him. They're not moving. And then she stands up and she goes inside the apartment. And he stays sitting there. And then
This is a new guy. You've never seen
never
this guy
seen him.
before.
And then I'm going to say 15, 20 seconds later, he gets up and he goes inside the apartment with her.
And so it's hard to say whether or not anything happened in that apartment because you were gone.
Right.
So it didn't pick up any sound.
So no sound.
The mystery
But
continues.
he really, like, she gets down and holds him. I mean,
Right.
I sent you that video. She's
Yeah.
really, like, holding him. And I'm like, So it feels like they know each other. This doesn't feel like and for him to be able to get inside, but I haven't seen him. He's dressed like everybody else, though.
Right, but but this is one of many dudes that you've seen going into that apartment.
Or people, yeah, because I
Right.
told you the hoodies, so it's hard to
So
know
you
what's
don't know, but
under
this is
there.
the first actual face contact. This is
And
like,
I've met a couple walking out, bringing the trash out. She said hi to me, and I've clocked a couple faces. So I've never seen this guy.
he's a UAP,
Yeah, he's-
unidentified
Person.
interesting person.
yeah. I was really like, huh. I was feeling bad for him, but then I was starting to feel again. This is what I'm concerned about. Man, banging on the door for
Right.
that long. Go home.
Go home.
Why are you staying there? What's happening?
Unless you, but see, the thing is, if you would have gone out there and he was like, I don't know what's happening. I think she might be in
I'm
trouble.
worried about her. But he
Right,
said, I
but-
think she fell asleep.
Like he was more frustrated that he couldn't get in.
Get inside.
Right.
Yeah. And I
That's
said,
it.
is everything okay? And he was like, oh, I can't get in. She probably fell asleep. It's like, you would think you'd be alarmed unless it happens all the time. And then I was like, is this a role play thing?
So I have a similar concern that
You
you
do?
have with,
Oh.
that you have with the aliens. I don't want to die before I find out what happens.
I know.
To this story because we have to find out. Someone made a good suggestion, and you should really consider this. I'm serious.
Okay, what is it? Asking on the show.
If this person, if she is indeed someone who is a voyeur or someone who does these types of things, or she might want to come on and talk about her business.
There's just no way, Kristian. I could not ask her. But I do think that there is a world in which I can ask her, like,
What do you do?
hey, I want to check in because I hear
Yeah.
so much noise
Can
at
you go to
all
coffee?
hours. I do have her phone number. And she did one time ask me over for drinks.
Uh-oh. You got to go for drinks.
I said, this was like a year and a half ago.
Okay. Hey, you still up for those drinks?
The thing is, like, I love it from where I am. I mean, it's annoying from where I am, but from where I am. But to get involved in whatever she's involved
That's
in
another level.
is like,
It's another level, I know.
like,
I know.
and then I don't want to be like her confidant because
And then because then coming on the show and saying stuff is now you're breaking a trust.
yeah,
Now-
totally.
Now, you're just a neighbor who's hearing things and talking about your experience. Like I understand that.
yeah,
I do understand that.
Like
But
right as of right now, she shared nothing with me. I
Right.
just know through
You
the
just
walls,
hear through the
and
walls.
that's not my fault.
And again, being very clear, Roxy is not taking her phone and putting it near this person's door.
no,
She is
in my-
recording it from her
I'm
apartment.
sitting in my bathroom. I'm brushing my
Yeah.
teeth, and all of a sudden it's
hear
like,
noises.
yeah,
right through the freaking.
in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in my room, in all the rooms.
It's insane. I wish that unfortunately we can't, like, it's one thing to show show the sounds, but to show the actual video.
Yeah, when I sent it to you, you were like, I'm confused. What is happening? I was like,
didn't
I
what
know.
was happening.
I don't know
because
what
at
to
first,
say.
Because it's weird because in that the guy's sitting down in the hallway and he looks so small.
Yeah.
He looks so small and he looked like a little kid.
He's
But
not.
then he stands up and he was like
No,
just
yeah.
a normal dude, but he looked small. And maybe that again from the footage itself. But no, you see the embrace. She kind of does this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're saying anything to it. I assume that they are, but it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, nobody's moving.
And then she
They
just goes
Yeah.
gets up. Very
And you saw she's in a big T-shirt. Like
Yeah.
it didn't seem like, I don't know what I would expect somebody to wear, but
the saga continues.
yeah,
The
I'll keep
saga
you posted.
continues. What do you think? What do you guys think? What's more interesting, the UAP hearings or Roxy's neighbor stories? Let me know. The last thing I'll talk about before we get out of here is once again the box office. I do think that we're in a very, very different time now. I think that the day of the dominant comic book movie is over. I'm not saying that you're not going to have comic book movies that still do very big business. Of course you will. Whether it's Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians, of course you will. But this day of this, like you could throw a comic book movie from Marvel and expect big business. I don't think so. And I think that I think that the hardcore fans are still going to support it for sure. But I think that there were a lot of casual fans that would see a lot of the comic book movies when they were coming out also. And I think that they're starting to get a little inundated with it. So I think that when you have something like a Barbie or you have something like Oppenheimer, you're getting something like Top Gun Maverick or Avatar, if you hit correctly, you're going to hit big business. And that's clearly what happened with both Barbie and the marketing behind Barbie. Barbie was incredible. I am absolutely in the minority because people are calling this like one of the best movies of the year. I did not love the movie. I thought that the movie is very well directed. I'm a big, it's just some stupid idiots every time I say, like, just say it. You hated it because it's a feminist woke propaganda. No. I actually really like Greta Gerwig. I think I loved Little Women. I loved Lady Bird. I think she's and Noah Baumbach, I think they're extremely talented. I think I saw what they were going for. Just didn't land for me. And there were some great, there's some really good jokes. There's some jokes that to me fell flat. The pacing seems a little bit off. Doesn't matter what I think. The movie is a master hit. It is a huge blockbuster, like $500 million hit already in less than like 8 days in the theater. It's going to be it will probably beat Mario. It is, it's a major hit. And then I also think equally impressive is Oppenheimer, because Oppenheimer is a rated R, 3-hour-long biopic about, the guy who created the nuclear bomb, but it's a Nolan movie. I think it's a testament to how big Nolan is. But that movie has also made an insane amount of money. And I think that the marketing was good for that, but the fact that movie made that much money, I think is a really big feat. It's a really big feat. And the fact that I refuse to say, what are they calling it now? The two movies?
Barbenheimer.
Whatever. It's like, to me, that's like the when J-Lo and what do they call him? Jaffleck or whatever they call him. I don't know. What when they mix two
Ship
people.
names.
I'll be the party pooper on it. I think it stinks.
I love a ship name.
I know, but I think it stinks.
I love a ship name.
Everybody jumping on board with it.
I love a ship
I know
name.
a lot of people do. I'm being the old grouchy man on the porch for that, but nonetheless,
We're Croxy.
yeah, I would rather call it that.
We're
Yeah.
Roxgen? No.
All of that sucks.
Wasn't great.
So yeah, the fact that you were off camera saying it wasn't great, I think it was one of the best comedic bits on this show thus far. Anyway, then they have other things coming out, whether it's Haunted Mansion and there's a few other movies coming out that I think the one that's going to take the biggest hit, unfortunately, I think is going to be Blue Beetle. It needs promotion. It needs someone as electric as Xolo Maridueña is, and he's so charismatic. He's such a good dude, and he needs to be out there, and he just can't be. So I think it's going to hurt. Plus, it's not a very well-known character, and I hope I'm wrong. Who knows, though, because there's going to be so many movies that I think get pushed after. If they don't, there's a report that this I can talk to you about. There's a report that says the strike's going to go on now until
2024.
January or February 2024. Where do you think it lands? In your heart of hearts, what do you think?
In my heart of hearts, when people were saying October, I was saying December. Now that people are saying January, February, I'm like, the thing is, it's all just a guess. Like,
Right.
We're still super far. We're not closer. We're no closer.
Not right now, we're not.
I don't know what's going to happen there's been a lot of talks about Biden stepping in and what the government can actually do here. But I just think we're so far away from this. I know that the unions are getting bled dry right now, but so are the studios.
Of course.
And who's hurting is everybody.
Right.
So I would like to still say December.
I'm going to say I have two answers.
Is one December and one is February.
Close. I have an optimistic and with a reason behind it answer, and then I have a kind of like I hope not, but I can see it happening answer. My I hope not see it happening answer is January, February, because there's going to be this kind of maybe February, there's this big holdout that they're just not going to be able to figure out. They're not going to get to the table long enough, and they're just going to push movies from December into whatever it might be, crowd everything up, and we're going to have a very packed 2024, just like we had a packed 2023, which was not very beneficial as I thought it would be to a lot of everybody. But my other answer that I actually think could happen is November. And the reason is because the studios are going to look at this thing in October, as you said, and go, we have to get our November and December movies out. We have to get our Oscar movies out. We have to get these movies out. They're going if those movies don't come out, if they push them or they don't make any money, these things, it's like Oscar season is going to be affected.
Well, a lot of people are banking on Emmys season
Yeah.
really lighting a fire under people's butts,
Right.
but the Emmys won't occur.
Right. When does it usually happen? November?
No, September.
September. Well, I don't, that probably won't happen.
Right. So,
But,
but
yeah.
what will happen? Will they make an announcement
Yeah.
of who won, or are they going
Right.
to push them? Like what?
That's well, yeah. I
the-
think I think that's
the
inevitable.
nominees are already announced. So
Right.
what
Right.
do you do?
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of people are thinking that's when the public will really
Say let's go.
what are you guys doing?
I think Christmas movies, if Christmas movies and everything start getting pushed back, I think that's ultimately why I think January, February could happen, because if they get pushed back, people are going to go, what's going on? What's happening? But I do think because of that, the amount of Warner Brothers has like 3 big movies coming out in November, December. They've got Wonka, they've got Dune, and they've got Aquaman. So that's a lot of money right there that they're going to, like, those movies could be hit big if you push them. Where are you going to push them? You're going to push Aquaman another year? Yeah, no one's going to give a crap.
I mean, right now, I think that would be a very big problem for
Yeah.
them. I hope that would be a very big problem for them. It shouldn't take that being a problem for people to be able to make a living
Right,
wage.
right.
But yeah, I talked to my dad. You know, he's not in this industry, and we were on the phone the other day, and he's like, I just think this is going to come to a quick conclusion. I was like, why do you think that? And he was just like, because this is asinine. Like,
Right.
they've got to figure something out soon. The whole industry is down. And this is what people don't also realize. It's not just this industry.
Right.
It's how it affects
Everything.
the economics
Yeah.
of the entire country and the world.
Well,
like,
California's economy makes up for a big portion of the United States
right.
economy.
It's affecting tourism
Yeah,
here. It's
yeah.
affecting, the other day I was talking to this guy who works at a restaurant that I was in, and he was like, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. Usually it's on Melrose, and he was like, all of the studio people come here during lunch and dinner, and it's been completely effing empty. Like, I have to change restaurants.
Right.
It's waiters. It's
Right.
It's everybody. You saw yesterday or 2 days ago now, UPS and Teamsters
Yeah.
came to. So it's like it is possible for people to feel good. It is possible to come to the DJ did it. It is possible to feel good about your deal. But I don't know. The longer this drags out, the more I'm just like, I don't think WGA and SAG. I think they're just like, fuck you guys.
Oh,
we are done.
they're putting their
We are
heels
not
in.
bending.
They're putting their heels in.
Give us what we want, or you guys are tapped. And
Yeah.
because of independent films, they're kind of going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, SAG is giving
Well,
those
but-
waivers for things. And who was the actor that came out and was like, was it Pedro Pascal or somebody was just like, do independent
Movies, yeah.
movies, period, right now. Like, let's go.
Well, that's what I was saying is that when I again, to be clear, it's going to be the studio is going to be the one that has to fold, because it's not going to be WGA and SAG.
no,
it's just not,
because they can't risk it.
WGA at this point has already, like, they're gonna hold out as
They're
long
3
as
months in.
They're 3 months in, and I think that miscalculation by the studios going, we're just going to bleed them out. They're already prepared. They're already prepared to bleed out.
I read the other day that productions right now are losing $600,000
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah, a day. I know, and that's what, and that's not even bleeding into the Christmas and holiday season.
Yeah.
Imagine how much they're going to lose then.
I know.
So they're going to have to figure that out, or they're going to have to take the hit, because the writers and the actors are going to be. I think that they're ready to go until January, February, because there's no way the studio is going to push that
It's
far
like,
into
what?
it.
I just don't understand. What's the effing point? These studios, like, if they're gonna have to fold eventually anyway,
Mm-hmm.
come on. We're seeing. Did you see the report yesterday that they're paying that person $900,000 to come in and train an AI machine for something? One of the studios. It's like, you guys have the money. You're gonna have to fold. You're just buying time to save the money for now and to laugh at everybody. Like, let's get a move on.
Right.
We all know where this is going to end up. You guys are going to have to give in because otherwise nobody's going to come back to work.
Yeah,
So
they haven't been negotiating.
no,
Like, that's the question. That's going to be
no,
the
just
big.
says rejected.
Yeah,
rejected.
that's going to be the big story. The next like big story is they've opened up the negotiations again.
Yeah, what are you
That ain't
guys
gonna happen
conceding
for a
on?
couple months.
We haven't when it's no update on residuals,
Right.
no update. You guys are not willing to update anything on
AI, streaming.
on anything streaming. there's no bending.
Right.
So what?
What is it?
We're just in a waiting game
Yeah.
of nothing.
Seems like it. So again, I don't know how you guys feel about all this stuff too. You know, whether it is the strikes, when it's going to happen, when the negotiation's going to happen, how you're feeling about potentially Keanu Reeves being in Star Wars whenever that may actually air, and then you've got the Barbie and Oppenheimer box office.
Call it by its name.
Nope. How you feeling about that? And then certainly last but not least, the UAP hearings. Did you watch it? I will put the link for the hearings in the description. I'd love to get everybody's thoughts on it. Riley and I will be doing an episode of it. It won't be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Capes and Cows. So most likely will be Monday where we'll talk about all this stuff. But for Roxanne Stryer, follow her at Roxy Stryer and all things Twitter, Instagram, Threads, or X, I guess. We didn't even talk about that.
I know. So
No, I saw a great meme. It was like him in his car, Elon Musk in his car, and some guy screaming, going, "I'm not calling it X." And he's just like, "No one's gonna call it X."
I thought of somebody being like, "It's really classy that he named it after all of his lovers, just like his exes."
Yeah,
Sort of
X.
really stupid.
It's, why? Longer
Z.
conversation. Well done. All right, listen, that's it. We're done.
That was my
was-
actual best work.
That was good.
That was quick.
It worked.
It's XYZ.
Yeah, but now you're explaining.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. All right, thanks for joining us here. For Roxy and myself, we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.